Hi, I am higher vibrations, and so are you. One of the most important parts that I found in my personal awakening process has been something that no one ever talked about. I didn't even know what I was going through until it was almost over. In fact, it was just about actually all the way over. And that's the dark night of the soul. It sounds really scary, and it kind of is, simply because it's a very transformative period in your evolution and your growth. Often, that is a precursor into an awakening, but everyone's awakening is different. Everyone's awakening occurs it's based on their personality and their soul's mission and what is needed for them. We all come here with a series of choices that we've made that we apply into this existence and this experience. And each one of those catapult us into the next thing. And in some situations, a dark night of the soul isn't required. I've heard of some amazing awakenings where someone just wakes up and there's rainbows and butterflies and goosebumps and happiness, and that's awesome. Like, that would have been a really cool experience, I'm sure. And it just wasn't mine. I had some serious shedding to do. I had a lot of darkness that I had to overcome. And in my case, it looked like chronic depression. It looked almost like mania in some cases. I had lost a few really important relationships in my life that started a series of events that needed to occur for me. Looking back now, I see it, and I am so grateful that they happened. I am so grateful for that horrific, deep, gooey pain, because it allowed the next thing to occur for me. So, what does a dark night of the soul look like, and how can you kind of help yourself through it? The thing that I learned: lean into the pain. A lot of times, we try really hard to not, it's a reaction. Something hurts, you pull away from it. If your hand is burning, you're not going to leave it on the stove. You're going to take it off of the stove because you're not an idiot. But when it comes to spiritual growth, in my personal experience, I found that when I ignore and avoid and lean away from, in order to make it to my job, in order to make it, so I can be presentable for the PTA or whatever it is, it's prolonging my growth, prolonging my evolution. And if that needs to happen for you, that's okay too. You will know what it is that you need to do next. For me, it lasted several years because I didn't lean into it. And for my experience, I needed to. For my personal experience, it had to happen that way. So I went through a series of dark nights of the soul. I found some very useful videos. I just Googled them on YouTube, found some dark night of the soul guided meditation, and that helped me. In fact, that was where I started meditating for the first time. In a practical sense, I very much like to garden, and I found myself in meditative state quite a bit in that atmosphere. But I never sat down. I never sat down to meditate. I never, aligned my chakras and all that stuff, because some pretty crazy stuff was happening when I was sleeping. I had some pretty weird experiences when I was awake too that I couldn't explain. I didn't want to open that door. And I was afraid until I was tired of being in the pain. And it helped me. It guided me to walk toward what I had been avoiding. And it allowed me the space to address it. Once I addressed it, I was able to see the layers, and I was empowered with the ability to unpack it, one layer at a time. For some, I've been told that the dark night of the soul is a brief period of time. For some, for others, it takes quite a while. We're all unique in our experience. And to compare our experience to someone else's is setting ourselves up for failure. No one's going to look the same. We're all snowflakes in this journey. So, well, that was the most important thing for me, was that once I really allowed myself to experience that dark night of the soul and to know what it was called, and that I wasn't going crazy, and that I wasn't like becoming some freakish, depressed, rageful person. I mean, I didn't have outward rage, but I was boiling inside, and that's not somebody I want to be. And it was terrifying. Who was I becoming? Some monster. It's just poison that needs to come out. Let the poison out. And let the experience and your evolution evolve the way that it needs to. No one's the same. Everyone has a different series of events that will occur. I found myself in a very abusive relationship that I stayed in for a very long time. And leaving that relationship, however good it may have been, was the final push into a real dark night of the soul. And that required a few years of my life. Another dark night of the soul. Again. And that's okay. I am grateful for it. I'm grateful for the experience. Thank you for listening to this video. And I hope that there's some kind of little nugget in there that will be of help. Have a lovely day. Aho blessings.